Hello, loves. Hello, hello. Hills here from the Blue Flame Apothecary. Happy 2024. 2024 it is now. This 8 year of transformation, infinite potential, and strength and justice. I spoke a lot about the significance of 2024 from a numerological perspective in my last update. You can find a link below for that. Today we're going to talk about a big energetic template, something for us to work with as a collective and each of us individually for this first quarter, as it were, of 2024. Let's take a moment, because all right, I'm gonna speak it into the space, and then we're gonna go talk about something else for a moment and then come back to it. We're gonna cycle into it, as it were. This energy is Chiron conjunct the North Node. So in a month filled, like bursting at the seams with transformational energy, forward momentum energy, we have Chiron and the North Node beginning their conjunction cycle. So in Aries, new beginnings. Today, we find ourselves, right now, for me anyhow, depending on when you're watching this, of course, it is the 4th of January. Mars is at the 0 point of Capricorn, having just tipped in. Venus is speed racing through Sagittarius, and Mercury is still conjunct, now forward, but still conjunct the galactic center. All of these things are coming in as part of the template for the Capricorn new moon that's happening on the 11th of January. And I'm going to talk more about that in a few days when we get a little bit closer, because this Chiron North Node conjunction is being activated. The initial activation of this conjunction is happening on this new moon. The conjunction itself begins on the 18th of January and lasts all the way through the 18th of April, which means it goes all the way through the eclipse season that we have coming up. During the total solar eclipse at the end of March and the lunar eclipse that's happening at the beginning of April, Chiron and the North Node will still be conjunct. Can you feel how transformative this is? How transformative this is? It is profound. We have a lot of forward momentum energy right now. Let me feel, because it's so fast, it can be really, really hard. You might feel like you're running to catch up to the energy, that you don't have time to go within, to find your center, to finish processing something before the new thing comes in. This is all part of the energy that we're currently navigating. And with Uranus, the last planet that we have, still retrograde, but coming into forward at the end of January, this is just getting faster. And as we move through February, which is when the Chiron North Node conjunction is exact, everything's going to be moving real fast. Everything's going to be moving real fast. It's part of the reason that I have been called to kind of alert us to this Chiron North Node connection now. So before we go on, I'm going to share that during the Capricorn new moon that we have on the 11th of January, the Sun and moon are going to be at 20 degrees of Capricorn in an exact T-square to the south node in Libra and the north node in Aries. This year, 2024, we have the north node in Aries and the south node in Libra the entire year. Both eclipse seasons will be along this axis. There will be no wobbling. There will be no wobbling. Last year we had wobbling. The year before that we had a little wobbling. This year it is solid. The north node is in Aries the entire of this year. The south node is in Libra the entire of this year. So Chiron in Aries. Chiron has been in Aries for a while. Chiron just shifted back, forward moving. So heading back towards the north node now. Heading back towards the north node. Currently we find Chiron at around 14 or 15 degrees of Aries and the north node around 20 degrees of Aries. They are doing a little dance towards one another. Remember, the nodes always move backwards. A reminder that we must gather from our past in order to move forward, right? It's collecting the gifts from the lives that we've had before, from our ancestors, from where we have been, and bringing them forward into the new. This is also what Chiron represents. Finding those places of our core wound, and bringing them to the surface so that we can begin to heal, and so that we can act as teachers and healers for others through that deep wound. One of the hallmarks of Chiron, and this is regardless of what sign Chiron is in for you, one of the hallmarks of Chiron is that it shows you where your greatest gifts reside. It shows you where your greatest gifts reside and what you are here to help bring into the world. The place where your wound is the deepest is where you are able to help another. When we think about like a grief counselor, some of the best grief counselors or abuse counselors, whatever, have been through that same thing themselves. And they have an innate knowing and therefore are able to be there for another in a profound way. It doesn't mean that in order to help somebody with a problem, you have to have experienced that problem. However, if you have that as part of your makeup, whether it's something you personally experienced, something that runs in your familial line, or something that is part of your soul's makeup, the genetic makeup, as it were, of your soul, these are the places that you are able to most profoundly gift another. So it's not simply Chiron in Aries, which is where Chiron is right now, speaking to self-worth issues. Then we look at the house that Chiron in Aries is in. So I'm going to use myself as an example here because I think it will really help us all to feel into the profound magnitude of what's available to us with this Chiron North Node conjunction. I have a personal Chiron in Aries. It is not being hit by this. However, where this Chiron North Node is hitting, excuse me, is in my 6th house. The 6th house is about healing and wholeness, coming into a state of being able to purify, to clear out, and to come into a more solid state through being permeable. The exactitude of this Chiron North Node conjunction, which is on the 11th of February, is happening on my mother's birthday. Now, if you've been following along for a while, you know that my relationship with my mother is fraught and that I have not been in communication with her for a while. My personal Chiron is in Aries in the seventh house, which is relationships to others. And we can start to feel how with this North Node Chiron conjunction happening on my mother's birthday, the message that I started to get a couple months ago that it's time to start renegotiating my relationship with my mother is hitting that nail right on the head, isn't it? It's hitting that nail right on the head. So for each of us individually, let's go individual and then we'll expand out to the collective. How's that sound? For each of us individually, where this particular transit is happening will indicate what we will be working through. Any aspects that it's making. This T-square that's happening between the sun and moon and the north and south node is actually happening directly on top of my IC line. The inner child, the sense of belonging, the start of the fourth house. Can you see how I'm being activated to explore where the wounds are coming from? And I've talked a lot about how I'm in a constant dialogue with my higher self, with my soul, with my heart, with my inner child about, is it right? Is it time? Shall I be looking at a different way? Is it time to open that door a little wider with regard to my mom or with my dad for that matter? For you individually, where this is hitting, so where 20 degrees of Capricorn, say, might be in your chart, what house is that in? What planets might be there? This is going to be a powerful activation point for those areas of your chart, for those parts of your being as we move through this new moon. As we come into the North Node Chiron conjunction, what is happening between 20 and 15 of Aries, or any of the cardinal signs, Aries, Libra, Cancer, or Capricorn? What's happening in there? I can share that Sirius, the stellar dimension of Sirius, which is diamond consciousness, expanded higher heart energy, is at 14 of Cancer. So where Chiron is during this current moment when I'm speaking to you. So we can feel how we're being asked to come into a state of higher mind, higher heart, of higher states of being, love in different ways. On a collective level, that's what this particular conjunction is activating for us. So if we think about the North Node in Aries, the North Node in Aries is I am, coming into a right relationship with self, an empowered sense of self. It's that strength and that new beginning, coming into a new relationship with I am. That's North Node. And that's something on a collective level all of us are being asked to do. We're being asked to examine our relationship to the world around us, to the other people in our world. That's Libra South Node. Examine that, explore that, bring forward the gifts from that relationship. And with that T-square with Capricorn on this new moon, this is being activated all the way through to the foundations and structures of our society. What is still true? What is full of life is what's coming in. What is full of life in this that we can bring forward and sprout, help grow into the new? Pluto will still be at the end of Capricorn on this new moon. However, the day that the sun shifts into Aquarius, they meet in conjunction, Pluto and the sun. The sun tips over into Aquarius and creates this sort of like gravitational well, and Pluto pops into Aquarius too. So this new moon and this cycle that we are in as we're coming through the portal of this coming new moon, as this conjunction between the North Node and Chiron is starting to get activated, is really igniting. The new is ready to start anchoring. Let that old shit fall away. You don't need it anymore. You don't need it anymore. If you try and hold on to it, things are going to get really uncomfortable. You might have guessed that Kali is very strong right now, also having just hit the supergalactic center. We'll talk more about that when we come into the new moon next week. However, I love that horn just honked, like Kali just came in. You're not going to put her in the back seat and say next week. So that was an alert. Kali. Kali will be at the 1 of Scorpio. Right there. Right there. So when we think about cycles within cycles within cycles, we can feel the spinning of our moon around our sun, around our planet, as we move around our sun, as our sun moves around Sirius, which moves around the Pleiades, which all moves around the galactic center, which moves itself around the supergalactic center. And all of these places, and Shapley is bringing them all together. Shapley is where Kali is. Can we feel this gravitational pull? This gravitational pull. And it's in us also. It's in us also. So as we feel Kali now, at that point that we're all orbiting around, that's orbiting around, we can feel that, let that shit go. And that is what this Chiron North Node is gifting us. We have from January to April, with a highlight in February, the shortest month of our year. We get this short month where things are going to move really fast because everyone's going forward. And Chiron and the North Node are just like, yeah, let's get closer, let's get closer, let's get closer. Bam. And their conjunction happens in trine to the great attractor. So pulling all of that gunk out. Each and every one of us has an opportunity to really, 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 really clean out our lines, our ancestral lines, our karmic soul lines, every part of our being. I've actually been asked to do something really funny for my personal karmic clearing, which is to create a sort of incarnation timeline. I'm being asked to like actually write down each of my incarnations in chronological order, which is not always the way that we experience them as souls. For me, personally, this is part of my journey. How you will be asked to navigate. Can you, hang on, I was just given something. Can you feel how this cycle that I get to be playing with my ancestral line, with my parents and my sister and my family, my immediate family, is being activated. It's being activated through this Chiron North Node conjunction, and how my soul's journey is also being activated. For me, it's in the house of Virgo, which is purification, right? It's as if each and every one of us is being given this gift on a platinum platter that says, this is the thing that you most need to witness, to bear witness to hold, and to let go, that you may come into a more empowered sense of self, that you may walk into your destiny, your soul's mission, and your soul's purpose a little lighter, a little lighter. If you're curious at all about where this particular conjunction might be hitting you, and you would like to have a consult with me, maybe do a natal chart transmission or a soul path journey of some other sort, there will be a link below to request a consult. You can also come check out the members portal. We'll be doing a lot of work with that over this next couple of months in that space, whether it be in our new moon circle that will happen on the 11th of January, or the explorations and light activations that I have one-on-one. There's a membership option. There's 2 membership options where we work together each month individually, one-on-one, as it were, also. If you feel a little bit like the white rabbit and you feel like things are moving too fast or that you're late, it's okay. That is part of this energy. It is to be expected. It is to be expected. One of the things that I have been feeling very loudly over this last couple of weeks in particular is that things are moving so quickly, and especially this first couple of months of this year, they're going to be moving so fast that what is really being asked of each and every one of us is to be as present in the moment as we can. Because if we try and be in next week, we're just going to jump straight there, and we're not going to get to do the things that are on offer for us in that time in between. Does that make sense? I know that might be a little out there even for me, but this year is about expecting the unexpected. And if we try and imagine, and if we try and imagineer or future cast what's going to be happening 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 6 months from now, the message I keep getting is that will be limiting the profound potential that is actually available, because it is so far beyond what we have ever before been able to imagine. Remember, this entire year, Neptune, now direct, is in square to the galactic center. Imagining beyond our galaxy, beyond the beyond. So if you are feeling rushed, like you need to get into the next minute yesterday, remember your heart, come into your heart, say, oh, no, I don't. I just need to be right here. And allow the love that is possible to bloom. Oh, thank you. Again, there's links below for all the things. If you enjoyed this video, please do like it. Please subscribe. It's amazing to share this with as many of you as I can. And I will, like I said, have another update sometime in the next few days that really dives more into the Capricorn new moon. For now, whatever you feel is the most important thing for you to anchor through in each moment, find a way to do that without limiting what is possible. Thank you with so much and many loves, as always, in the always, from, through, and beyond the all dimensions.